So McKinley is just west of Winton, and it's the home of the famous Walkabout Creek Hotel that was in Crocodile Dundee. We found these turkeys out the front, so everything was still so rustic and original. And here's the old Never Never Tours car that was in the film, just a real icon. So the actual pub itself was originally built in 1900 and was a federal hotel, and was also the local sort of council chambers and whatever. And it was it's just an amazing original old building. You'll all remember this too, charging through the bush in Crocodile Dundee. So the place is just full of terrific memorabilia. Just a really interesting thing, and the poor old truck's just sat out in the open ever since. Nobody's tried to maintain anything, and that's the way it should be. And inside you can take your photo with old Croc, and you can borrow the knife, and you know the sign's the same, beer on tap. And I love this quick serve area, get your drink then piss off. But it's just full of character. There's obviously a lot of photos and things from the movie, and just makes everything really, really interesting. And there's the man again, good old Croc. Yeah, so it's interesting the history, and it's originally set up as a stagecoach base for Cobb and Co coaches. And as we're leaving the turkeys, I really felt like one for dinner, but they'd be like old boots. They're about 100 years old, I think. I think they've been around ever since the movie was on. You've got to love country towns. We're in Cloncurry, and everywhere down the middle of the main street, they're playing country music. So every telegraph pole down the street has got speakers on it. Just look at the old post office hotel, and here's the actual post office. Unreal. Just love it. And check this out. The old Central Hotel. And just out of the town, right on the edge of the town, is this really old Chinese cemetery that has the bodies of about 60 Chinese. The Chinese all came out here when the gold rush was on, and then they didn't strike gold, so they became pretty intuitive and set up market gardens on the outskirts of town. And they called all this area Chinatown where they were, which is pretty typical everywhere. But most of the graves haven't got anything. This one did, and it's got his name on it. I think it's a Mr. Ma from Bayou in China. But they were so poor, most of them didn't have any money to do anything. There's only 2 others that have got bricks. And I suspect they're probably convict bricks, because when I had a look at one, it's actually got a mark on it. They're made out of terracotta, or it's probably the red mud, the red soil from out in this area. And on top of the hill, on the outskirts of town, is the old water tank. And like everywhere now, it's been painted beautifully. There's an Aboriginal boy on one side, and the other side's got a white girl with blonde hair on it. And it's just fantastic what they've done with these disused water tanks. They've made a real feature out of them, and now it's a tourist attraction, and it joins a lookout where you can look over the whole area. And when you see from here, Cloncurry is nothing like what I thought it was going to be like. And this is just walking around the other side, and you'll see the white girls here, but unfortunately the sun sort of flared up into the camera a bit, so it was hard to see it, but it's absolutely brilliantly painted, and she's throwing a dart. And this is the views of the surrounding area. Now it's actually quite lush and green, because there's a river running through Cloncurry, and there's a dam further out. And we went out to the dam, which is obviously the water supply, but all the water here is really clear. Just beautiful water and beautiful tasting. But the thing that really stands out is it's just lush and green, and there's a lot of little hills and whatever. This is when we went for a drive down to the dam, and there's a boat ramp here, so they water ski, they fish, they do everything. There's a lot of red claw in here and yellow belly, and the Aboriginals back in their day, that's what they used to feed on and fish in the whole area when they're here. But this water is just crystal clear, and it was actually quite warm. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a wonderful day, and please subscribe below.